All right. Well, it looks like we've got a nice group here. Let's get things moving. This is going to be Fortress Power, deep dive into a product overview presented by Richard Vaughn. I'm going to do the quick standard introduction, and then I'll drop off and help monitor pick questions in the chat. So yeah, as usual, any data sheets or additional resources we have, we're gonna upload into handouts. You'll see if we do any polls during this webinar, you'll see the question prompt under the polls tab, also on the right-hand side. And then, of course, please post your questions as we go in the chat, and we will try to keep an eye on them. And if something's really relevant, we'll jump on it right away. But otherwise, we will get to most of the questions, if not all of them, at the end. And then, of course, also going to record this, and we'll send the recording out to all the participants joining us today. Yeah, I'm with Greentech Renewables. We're the presenter here, or the host, I should say. Everybody probably knows Greentech. We are dedicated to supporting your business with all kinds of services. Design services is one of them, but they run the gamut through finance, design, and a host of other ones. We're a big distribution network in the country, but we're also very local, with over 100 locations, warehouse stocking locations across the country. Of course, one of our strengths, biggest strengths, is logistics and warehouse support. Kind of a one-stop shop for everything you need to build solar projects. And we, of course, the reason I'm here is because we go way beyond traditional distribution offerings to support the job from start to finish. And my group within Greentech is Design Services. If you're a Greentech customer, you can sign up for Design Services and participate or benefit from all the design services we offer, which run from just simple technical support and product selection through your local Greentech to construction documents, as-built drawings. We do feasibility studies. We work in every jurisdiction in the United States, and with any size project. We can support any project and any product that Greentech sells, but we can also integrate products that are outside of Greentech and just part of a project. So yeah, that being said, I'm gonna hand this off to Richard, and he's gonna give his presentation, and I'll drop off into the background to keep an eye on questions. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, thank you so much, Short. And thank you guys for all joining this webinar so that we can share as much information as we possibly can regarding products. I'll try to go as slow and or as fast as I can to be cognizant of all of our times. But if you guys have any specific questions that are related to anything that I'm discussing during the process of this presentation, please feel free to post it in the chat, and I'll address it as I can. Otherwise, if any questions afterwards, I'll do my best to answer. I'm not the most technical guy, but I do have a good scope of what's happening. First off, I want to thank you, Short, and the rest of the team for putting this together. Greentech and Fortress Power has been good partners for quite a while, and we will continue to support the industry as further on in the future as we can possibly get. My name is Richard Vaughn. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for the US Southeast region for Fortress Power. I've been working a little over 6 months, and we have been supporting installers and distributors and a whole network of industry professionals across the entire continental United States, Canada, Mexico, LATAM, even all the way into today. Our focus is going to be talking about our flagship product, which is going to be the NV inverter eForce. So again, I'll just go from top to bottom, and if there's any questions or anything specific, please let me know, and I'll try my best as I can. So Fortress Power, let's talk a little bit Fortress. Fortress Power has started since 2016. We're a company that covers the entire globe for products, primarily in the United States. We have been supporting installers from 2016. We have more than now 50,000 installs, and we have a network of installers that we work with that's extensive. We cover the entire continental United States, and almost every green tech outlet we are in partnership with. Products, finding support for our products is something that's not too complicated to find at all. We do offer pre-sales technical support and solutions engineering support, which means that if you guys do have a product that you need to identify technical engineering assistance for, we do have a sizing tool that's on our website at fortresspower.com, as well as we provide engineering support. So if you reach out to Fortress Power directly, whether through GreenTech or via our website, you'll be able to reach out to whichever regional sales manager covers your area and get support before you even identify which product may better fit your need. So that's important for you guys to know. Additionally, any particular information that is relevant to building engineering specifications for your product is something that we're happy with at all times to provide you guys with that support on. So that's something that's close to our hearts. We want to make sure that every single installer that's using our products have the best experience possible for that. Fortress products cover a range of residential to commercial. So we do cover C&I in our product. That's what I'm going to talk about, as well as the VPP territories. So I know the entire United States is not covered by VPP, depending on which, but we do cover most of the VPP territories that exist in the market. And I will touch on quite a few of them, but I know as professionals in the industry, I'm aware of what is available in your territory. So we'll go over that as we go through the presentation. Why installers choose us? Close to my heart. I've been in the industry since 2018, and I have covered, solar from the homeowner point of view, solar directly to homeowners for a number of different companies. And one thing that I recognize in the industry that I'm happy with Fortress, best reasons installers choose our products is support. Solar is a lonely game, and I know everyone in the industry understands that when you're sitting with a homeowner and you're talking about or so on, sometimes it can be a challenge when you are that individual right there. And it goes all the way up from the sales rep that's sitting in the home to the installers. If you're buying a manufacturer and you're not able to get support for the product, then it becomes a difficult scenario. So one of the things that we find that best us and our product is the support that we provide. We have a robust support system where we reach out and installers can reach out to us to provide technical specification before the sales process, before you buy the product, during the sales product, which is something that we know GreenTech has done for a number of years, during the installation process for things like technical specifications, questions, commissioning support for the battery, and even on-site technical visit during install, as well as after install process for registration to VPP or things like that. And we find that something that's very close to our hearts because we are able to listen to what installers are saying. We take good recommendations from installers on how to develop our products. And a lot of these are implemented and will be implemented in the future as we continue to build on our product. There's a number of different things like SPA agreement and a whole bunch of different things that allow installers to do better with our product. with regards to pricing, availability going forward. And one thing that I want to mention right now that I think is very important in these particular time when tariff is a big issue, one thing that Fortress has is availability of stock, meaning we know that, the industry is a little bit up and down at this particular point, and having availability is one thing that a lot of installers are looking for, and we do have it. So one good reason to work with us. And pricing right now is so vulnerable and volatile. What Fortress Power has decided to do is develop an approach where we, as the manufacturer, will take the hardest hit on the tariff circumstances because we intend to move our manufacturing domestically. So come the end of Q3, all the Fortress Power products, in particular our flagship E-Force battery, will be manufactured in the United States, in Virginia. So our goal is to provide to cover us from now to the end of Q3 and to take as much as that tariff as we can on board. And where we can't, there we may see a small increase going out to the market, but we'll take the majority of that. So that's very important to know as an installer, that we are prepared to support you in every way possible. Now, let's talk about our products. Our 48-volt line of products cover our primary inverter, which is our NV inverter. Our NV inverter comes in 3 different ranges. We have our 8 kilowatt inverter, our 10 kilowatt inverter, and our 12 kilowatt inverter. It's very important that I mention these are the minimum output of the inverter. You'll find inverters on the market that say it's 12 kilowatts, but when you plug it up, then you only get 10 kilowatts running from the inverter. Our 12 kilowatt inverter is able to give about 18 kilowatts of power out of it, and 12 at the minimum. So you're buying a 12 true 10 or true 8 kilowatt inverter. Our inverter comes with the ability to have 2 MPPT input or 3 on our inverter, and generator integration as well, which we know is very, very, very important. Our 12 kilowatt inverter has a 200 amp pass through, which works awesome when you're doing whole home backup, because we know most homes have a 200 amp breaker, which means that depending on the size of the PV system that you're plugging in, to 21 kilowatts of PV, in our 12 kilowatt inverter, you can have a whole home backup from just using one 12. And that's very, very important to know. Our inverters are stackable, which means that you can put multiple inverters together to have the ability to get 3 volts out of this. So it means that you can cover from one single inverter, let's say doing 8 kilowatts of power, all the way up to 156 kilowatt hours of power. So you're covering your small residential customer, all the small commercial customer. And this is very, very, very important for you to know. All of the specifications of these inverters are listed on our website. More technical needs like the size, the specific input, and so on, that can be available, or you guys can reach out to us directly or the team at Greentech sheet and more details on the specific capabilities of the inverter. And that's important to know. Now, our inverter with our E-Force battery. Our E-Force battery is a newer iteration of the Fortress products. And it's very important to say that even though it's a new battery, it's an old battery at the same time. And I don't want to confuse you by saying that. We have used the technology from our E-Flex battery, which is the most in the market. We have thousands of them installed. And we have developed it into a modular stackable battery, which is the E-Force. Now, it's important to know that the E-Force comes in modules from 9.6 kilowatt hours for one single module, and to 19.2 for 2 modules, and 28.8 kilowatt for the second modules. Is everyone hearing me clearly? I see that we have some small connection issues. Am I going through clearly to everyone? Can I get a thumbs up if I am? All right, awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. So important again to know, one single module is a 9.6 kilowatt hours. So it means that if you have a customer that has a very small capacity need, you can put one eForce in. Now, the E-Way is an important piece of a device as well that goes on the top of the battery. The E-Way replaces a WireWay, which means that you have one less component to add to the process. It means that now there is no WireWay that you have to be connected, and the E-Way serves with a 100 amp bus bar, which means that if you're stacking multiple eForces together, you have the ability to stack quite a lot, all the way up to 153 kilowatt hours of power. For the regular customers, our most popular selling eForce comes in the 19.2 kilowatt, and we have for larger residential customers the 28.8 kilowatt hours. Now, it's important to know that these batteries were built with DIY in mind. And why am I saying that when I'm talking to installers? Simply because it's easy to install. The batteries specifically were designed for someone who does not have a wide scope of technical capabilities, which means as an installer, it's a faster put in, less truck rolls on site to the customer's home, and the ability to get the system up and running with the fastest possible time. The system is built to cover the entire US and Canada, which means that it's built in with self-heating capability. So regardless of how cold it is, our LFP chemistry, if it's too cold, I think if it's under 32 degrees, the battery will discharge but not recharge. But because of the self-heating capability, it will allow to warm itself up so that in the colder months of the year, the battery will recharge and then discharge as the customer calls for power. It's very important to understand the battery is built for both floor mount as well as wall mount, and we can stack them up to 150. So it caters for small customers for 9.6 kilowatt hours, all the way up to small commercial for 153 hours. Important for me to mention as well, this particular battery is compatible with any inverter on the market, but we always recommend inverter because it's one product, one company. We as a manufacturer cannot depend or rely on how anyone else's product will. Great products out there, but if you're pairing it with our battery, we cannot say how well it would work paired with our battery. We can vouch for our NV inverter, but compatible with any inverter out there. So I just wanted to share that and make sure that we're all on the same page with it. Our eForce has a couple of variations that it can. For that one particular customer who cares very much about how the system looks, we do have that goes at the top of the NV inverter. So if we can look at the image here, especially the one in the middle, would have a 19.2 eForce stack, which is 2 modules and the E-Way, and then you have a cover that will cover the inverter. So you have now a more aesthetically pleasing look, as well as, that finish that HOA would recommend, or the homeowner's wife is going to say they don't want a huge piece of equipment showing on the front or the side of the house. So we did cater for things like that. If you guys, I do have an eForce and an NV that's right there. The eForce does have AC/DC, coupling. So if you're putting the inverter as a standalone inverter for PV, it's awesome, and you have AC coupling if you're just adding storage systems. So yes, our system would work awesome for AC or DC coupling, depending on what configuration you're looking for. We recommend wall mounting for 2 modules of the eForce. Of course, it's a 280 pound per one module, so you would need to work with this. And if you're going to stack it up to 3, then you want to make sure that your installers are strong guys, because you do have to lift it. And because it's going to be about 700 pounds or more for wall brackets, you want to make sure that it's on a really good strong wall, or you want to do something like a floor mount. We recommend depth of discharge by about 80%. The maximum output of the battery, I believe, if I'm correct, the 19.2 can put out, I think it's 60 amps. Don't hold me to that. Our technical guys, and we do have the technical support that, I'll be able to answer any technical questions that you guys would have as we go forward. And I'm sorry coming through as well. I have everything working as we are. For the 9.6 kilowatt hours, it's about 280 pounds per battery. So we know that 2 installers work it well. I've been on site where 2 installers are stacked and 19.2 kilowatt hour system mounted. So it is something, but if you have 1 installer, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Added to our eForce, we do have our eVault Max 18.5 kilowatt hour battery, as well as our eFlex Max 5.4 kilowatt hour battery. These are more of the flexible battery that we have. All of our battery come with 8,000 cycles, which means the battery is able 20-something years, just depending on the use case of the particular customer. And we do have warranties from 10 years manufacturer warranty all the way out to 30 years extended warranty. And those are information that we will definitely share with you. But 8,000 cycles is what you can get from any one of the batteries that we have on board. Our eVault Max 18.5 is an indoor battery. It's important for you to know that. It's a heavy battery. Use case for this particular battery outside of the eForce is making sure that the battery itself is in an environment. Recommended for a small commercial or garage scenario, or somewhere where you can take the battery from the truck directly to expected to be operated. If you're going into a basement, you do not want to use an eVault Max. So use case scenario, again, it would depend. eFlex Max, which is a smaller, more versatile battery, is a battery that we have. It's very small. It's about 40 to 60 pounds. This is the battery you have, where if you have that one unique installation scenario, that you have a confined space, or you're installing in a basement or somewhere where you have to fetch the battery around, then before you use an eForce or an eVault, an eFlex Max might be the best scenario for your install. eVault, we can join these batteries together to make 370 kilowatt hours. And for eFlex, you can sync them to get 162 kilowatt hours of power. So all of our residential batteries have the ability to be joined in series to make to meet small commercial applications. So it's important to know, depending on your use case scenario, with Fortress products, you have the ability to cover both residential and small commercial. And this is just a bit of a use case scenario here for both our eVault and our eFlex battery with our NV inverter, just to give you an idea of where the use case applications would come. Now, to add to that, something that we do have, and it's important, and I'll cover a small commercial as well. What I recommend from any installer who has not been registered with us is to register to become an authorized installer. There's a couple of benefits that an authorized installer, we do have tremendous support. So going back to what I've said before, our support is our strongest suit. As an authorized installer, we do on the territory, we do work with lead gen, we do co-marketing activities, sales support, training, etc. And as an authorized installer, we do have certified training on our website to go through training for every product that we have. In particular, this case is going to be our eForce, which is our flagship product. There is a certified online training for the NV eForce installation. And as an authorized installer, we visit you on site, we work with you, We can provide lead gen program in your territory where we cover some of the marketing and get you the leads, and you and your team would just have to work on it. It just depends on where you are and what you're doing. We work along with you very, very well. So it's important that you guys, if you're not an authorized installer, to register training to become an authorized installer. Now, for our CNI products, and it's important for me to cover a little bit of this. Our CNI offering does have some technical specifications, so it's not as straightforward as the residential. But for CNI, have our eSpire Mini, which is an all-in-one DC-AC coupled ESS system with a very small footprint. Now, this is not the application that you're putting in a residential home, except it's a really large home. But this is the application that you're putting in to a small commercial facility, or any facility that's going to require you to need up to 480 volts AC. And you can go all the way up to about 266 kilowatt hour of power out of these systems. They're very capable, very technical, very user-friendly. And we don't only provide the inverter, batteries, and every other component that's needed, but we also, the software that runs for the microgrid system is Fortress-owned software, which is important for that. So if you're running small commercial application that goes outside of the scope of our residential, may not be the best, the residential products may not be the best fit, then we do have our eSpire Mini and our eSpire product. Now, it's very important to know that there's a CNI checklist for this. So if you reach out to Greentech to say, well, I have a project that requires a small commercial application, or even if you reach out to Fortress Power, I cover residential product, we would give you a checklist. You'll fill some basic information in, and this goes to our engineering team that covers the commercial applications. They will review the product with you, look at your technical specification needs, and then they will generate the list of what you would need. They will verify this with you, and then we'll get pricing over to your distributor so that you can get the pricing. You'll get pricing, you'll get shipping times and everything on this. Of course, for commercial, it's not as it is residential, but you guys would have also known that. But it just depends. Quotes for commercial projects are based on products specifications, so it depends on what you're looking for. You'll be able to get that, just by the CNI application form. And just to wrap this up, there's a couple of competitive advantage that we have added to. Again, there's a lot of competitors. There are a lot of different products out there in the market. We, as a manufacturer, are able to cover battery inverter, microgrid solution, grid service, and every single thing. You may get similar or different depending on who our competition is. There's a lot of great products out there, but we pride ourselves on being an all-in-one solutions provider for any installer that's there. So I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page with this, and provide you with every bit of information that you need. Thank you guys so much for your time. I know this does not come through as clear as I can. I'm seeing in the messages that you guys did. It brings everything out clear. If there's any questions, I'm available to answer. For equipment made and the challenges with tariff, right now, today as we speak, all of our equipment are manufactured outside of the United States, out of China. And yes, we do have with the tariff situation. But like I've mentioned before, the plan that we have is this. Our manufacturing facility is under development right now in Virginia. We will be looking at having product in the market from our US-based manufacturing facility by end of the third quarter of this year. So what the goal we're working on right now, and our management team is hard at work in this, is making sure that we can, and we will consume as much of the tariff as we possibly can. So yes, we are hit with the tariff pricing, but we are first going to soak up as we can. And if there's to the point that there's nothing more that we can soak up, then that increase will come over to the installer. But you should see a minimum increase, if any, coming to you from our tariff pricing. And we're hoping to come out with new pricing as of the 1st of May. This is just to make sure that the tariff effects are not going to hit everyone. We're trying to make sure that it does not hit the homeowner. And we know these are challenging times. So we, this period to the end of Q3, where we will have our manufacturing delivering products. So we're working on right now. Our certified installer program comes through online. Once you're completed the course online, it will go through a series of questions to make sure that you have the relevant competence to get the to get enough information to complete the install. Once you've scheduled your install, then you can go online and submit a ticket to have on-site technical support. This is something that we're happy with. So here's how this works. If you schedule an install, let's say for the 5th of May, and you go to our website, support ticket saying, hey, I'm going to be installing at Bob on the 5th of May at 10 o'clock. One of our engineers will be available for video chat. It's called Zoho Video. And it means at that time, you can have any technical questions or get any kind of support possible during your installation and commissioning process. So it makes for a very, very, very smooth process. A lot of installers use it, especially when they're installing for their first time. But once you get seasoned, it's not going to be something that, you know, a lot of installers are going to use, but it's available for whenever you use it. Yes, one of our battery is compatible with our inverter. So our NV8, 10, or 12K inverter is compatible with our eFlex battery, as well as our eForce battery. We always recommend any single battery that you use, you pair it with our inverter. Every battery that we sell is compatible with any other popular inverter brand out there. But we always recommend one product for the customer because it's less headache and less resources you will have to put in if something gives you a challenge. If you're using a different inverter with our battery and something fails, to reach out to the inverter manufacturer and reach out to us to try to figure out where the failure comes from. And you know that can be a headache from time to time as an installer. So when you have one, we can troubleshoot the entire system and get you a fix in the short term. So that's the goal that we want. Now, we don't foresee a lot of challenges with install, but listen, there's no perfect scenario. From time to time, something will happen that we don't expect to happen, and where we can provide support is where we want to provide support. All right, let me see if I can go through as much of the questions that I can. No, we do not do micro inverters as yet. We do have a line of product developments in discussion right now. I am not at liberty to say if microinverters are going to be a part of that. I have no idea what the product development team is looking at. But once our manufacturing facility gets up and running in the United States, I know we're looking at developments and improvements to the product that we have. So we may see a few new things coming from Fortress, but we'll have to see. And as new things come, make it known to you as well as the distributor so you guys can get a good understanding on where it is. The BMS is on every single module. So every 9.6 module of the eForce has its own BMS. The E-Way bridges everything together, and it's important that eForce battery does not connect with wires from one battery to the next. It's plugged in. So when you have one module on the ground, you can plug the module in without connecting wires. And that's very important to know. And we do have a Guardian system that goes along with the eForce that reads each individual battery. So you're not just getting the performance of the entire stock. Let's say you have a 28.8 kilowatt, 3 modules. When you're reading from our software, or the app. And the app has a homeowner version as well as an installer fleet management. So when you're looking at the installer fleet management version, you're looking at, let's say, Tom Jones's install, and he has a 28.8 stack of battery. You will just not see what the system is producing, but you'll be able to see what each individual battery is producing. And that's the scope, or how technical or so you will know, well, module 1, 2, or 3 is providing this. This is the depth of charge. This is where it is. This is how much is discharging. And so if anything ever goes wrong, you will have the ability to it off site. So you'll be able to see that problem from your computer in your office before you even get out to the customer. And if an error comes up, you'll be able to end as well. Yes, I can get materials and presentation and everything out to you guys via email. A ton of shared with you guys is available on our website. So if you go to fortresspower.com and you look at our products, each one of the product would have almost every bit of information that I've shared. Additionally, what is important to know, additionally, if you guys wanted to set up a individual product review to go over your specific questions regarding any one of our battery or inverter, you guys can schedule that with us as well. And it's as simple as either reach out to us at Fortress or reach out to the Green Tech team and say product review with the Fortress team. And these guys are very, very capable to find us and put you in connection with who is responsible for your state. And you can get a one-on-one conversation with myself or any other regional sales manager to answer your specific questions, because we know different installers have different questions depending on the territory. Something I want to mention as well, we are a part of the VPP programs. If you're coming in from North Carolina, we have the highest rate of returns on the Duke Energy program. The same thing goes for a ton of the other states across the US. VPP specific, your regional sales manager can cover. I do not know all of the VPP programs or what the specific rebates are going to be for all of them. It's important for you to know that you have access to that information. Yeah, for the 400 amp main, our inverter or 12 kilowatt has a 200 amp pass through. And for me to tell you that you'll need 2 inverters or how you'll work technical thing, I can refer you to our solutions engineer to have that specific question answer. Again, we do provide pre-sale support. You have a question that might be technical that you want answered before you buy the product, we're able to offer that as well. We do have a sizing tool on our website. Mentioned, we do have a sizing tool. So if you guys are trying to figure out what do I need and how much of what do I need for a particular job site, you can go to our website, get our sizing tool, and use that to tell you which one of our product and how much of that product would have the particular need to suit your particular project. So that's important to know. For AC couple, yes, you can use a generator. We do have a generator input. No. Well, which specific project to use? Again, that's going to definitely be a question for our engineer and our supporting team. I would recommend that you guys reach out to me so that we can schedule that. The Guardian is intended to go directly inside of the E-Ways. It makes for a nice, cleaner look. We're working an iteration where that comes built in later on in the future. But yes, the Guardian is the communication device that we use to communicate with the product. So you can get a good reading on the inverter, you get a good reading modules or whichever battery you're using from the Guardian. We always recommend that if you're buying an eForce battery, make sure that the Guardian is there. And if you forget, then we will always remember that. For the UL 3141, we do have all required certificates. Very important. All required certifications are there. Specifically, UL 3141. I'm not the engineering guy. I'm sure we have it. The information will be online, or you can reach out to us directly to answer specific questions. Rapid shutdown is a part of our inverter, and we do have a rapid shutdown as well. So yes, you can have that available. I am not sure, but the NAPCEP credit for this. I mean, the Green Tech guys will give confirmation and things like that. Yes, our NV inverter is approved for installation in Hawaii. As a matter of fact, we do have a very, very large presence in Hawaii. Tim is our regional sales manager out there, and we are doing a lot of work out in the Hawaii area. So you're completely covered. No, we don't do like proposal or designs specifically that covers PV on our website. Our sizing tool pretty much covers what you will need based on your customer's specifications. So if you know you have a customer that's using so many amps or so much power, or the specific circumstance with, the sizing tool will take that data from you and make recommendation on the different products that we have. But where it comes out to PV design or rooftop design, no, we are a manufacturer for inverters and battery delay. All right, and I mean, we look out to hearing from you guys. We look forward to hearing from you guys. Again, if you want to reach us, the Fortress Power website, you can reach out to me directly. All of my information, all of the other regional sales managers' information is listed on our website. You can reach out to your Green. So if you reach out directly to the Green Tech that's in your area regarding the Fortress Power, they'll be able to revert you directly back to us for proof or any support that you will need for any one of our products. So that's one of our strong suit, guys. We are here for you. We know how complicated this job can be. It's a lonely business when you're out there in it. So that's why we are partnering up with Green Tech and the rest of the team to make sure that you guys have all of the support and information you can. Yes, the webinar is recorded. And as far as I'm aware, it will be sent out to everyone. But anything else you need after, we are available and open up to having conversation with you guys. I look forward to hearing from you. And I'm myself and the rest of the team at Fortress will always be available to work with you guys. So thank you.